Well, it's that time again, my friend Pete.
Back Monday after a long weekend of tournament play for the NCAA.
Florida Gulf Coast, man, they can play. They have good players. I enjoyed that. This is some of the first college basketball I've watched in, I don't know, several years.
Really?
Yeah, definitely.
Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but I seem to watch it every year. I've got a bracket going almost every year. It's fun.
How many people do you think have a bracket going? A bunch, right?
On
Harvard.
On Friday, right before the last team that lost the big upset, there were, I think, out of 8 million brackets. Yeah, 8 million.
And only 2 left, right?
No,
you got Florida Gulf Coast, you're crazy.
No, there was 0 left. Not a single person has a perfect bracket anymore. But
kind of like life itself, a parable about life. We've got our own brackets to look at, right? You were looking before we came on the soccer brackets.
We really do. It's soccer brackets, yeah, playoffs. Who's going to make it to the state title? Because it seems every year we've got
Valley View. Unfortunately, not for the other team. Yeah. Valley View's going to go far, dude.
Yeah, they really are. They really are. But in the boys, I mean, the 5A, let's get right at it.
In my neck of the woods, it's a big game. Now, here's what happened to Economides. We told you about that game against EHS. They performed brilliantly. But then they went over to Donna and got whomped 4-0. Coach Sam Gonzalez told me that it wasn't necessarily that they got killed. They just made a few key mistakes early, got behind, and that was it. Mm-hmm. Donna's good. So what the Jags have to do, they tie for 4th right now. They got to beat Palmview at home tomorrow night. So that's what it's all about.
That is, and we'll see how they get there. I mean, what about down in the girls?
Well, down in the girls now, Economides is 3rd. They slipped to 3rd. They can win 2nd. If they got to make up a couple of points on Donna. Donna's at 31, Economides at 29. That means that if Economides wins its 3 points and Donna loses 3 against Lincoln, they can finish 2nd. They're looking at it. I think they're going to win 2nd. I think they're going to win against Palmview, and I think that Donna's going to lose. Of course, it's stranger things have happened. It's been a great season. Now, it's interesting. Going back to that boys race, EHS for a while was looking like one of the best teams around. They gave up too many goals late in the season, and they lost Luis Hinojosa, the leading goal scorer, with 15. He played, 5 or 10 minutes against Jags. He just couldn't go. He had a hamstring. He's had a back. They just wore out. But Economides is still in it. Coach Sam told me that he needs the old Jags from the day to arrive tomorrow to play at 6 o'clock against Palmview, because right now they're 1 up and 1 down. They got to go. They got to get back on track. But if they do, they make the playoffs.
There you go. And I really do think they'll make the playoffs. And so speaking of, we got Sherryland also.
I watched Sherryland last week, both boys and girls. And let me tell you something. Those are 2 of the best teams we have. Absolutely 2 of the best teams in the Valley. The Sherryland girls now, it's 66-5 or some such. They're gold against and for. I got a chance to finally see Chloe Flores, number 15. She's very good. Daniela Cantu is great. Megan Idrogo, number 9. She can get shots off from anywhere. The big kid, I think her name is Michaela Garvin. She punched in the first goal. That team is deep. It attacks. It handles. And I think it's going to win at least 3 or 4 games.
Well, it's looking like they're going to get LBJ Laredo.
LBJ, they're going to beat them like 6-0. I promise you. That's
really
a blowout.
It really does look like that. It's probably going to match up to. Well, no, that's a different side. I was going to say Del Rio, because Del Rio's.
Don't want to play Del Rio. Sherryland's very good, but Del Rio is 93-1. Unless that's a misprint, they've scored 93 goals and allowed 1. That's not a team you want to play. Sherryland girls, check this out. Only 2 seniors of note. They're going to be back next year, and unbelievable freshmen and sophomores came off the bench, played the second half, and of course North played them tough. The North girls played them hard. They only lost 2-0. I'll tell you this: North has 19 goals in 15 games, which is not enough.
Yeah.
And they didn't get them. They got 19 points out of 8 wins. Not enough. 5-0 in shootouts. Bottom line is they just didn't win the points. But mark my words, that team's going to be there next year. I love Sherryland's team. They're so athletic, man. The goalkeeper, man, that chick is tough. Chelsea, she's a big girl, and I don't mean to be saying, big like big, but she's strong looking. She reminds me of Hope Solo. She's amazing. I love that. And she's very aggressive. I mean, she'll be hollering at people. I love a goalkeeper with passion like that. She's a good player. They're a great team.
Yeah. So Sherryland, they're going to.
They got LBJ.
I mean, they got.
What are the other matchups in the girls? Well,
in the girls, what it's looking like to boil down to is Donna and United South.
Donna can win that game.
Econ against United.
You mean the boys?
No, I'm talking girls.
Oh, okay. They can win that game too. I think the Jags can win, although they've never been in a playoff.
Yeah.
First playoff trip ever for Lady Jags. Just play your game. Let Deanna score and let someone else come up from behind. She got 40 goals. 40 goals. Covarrubias. She's unbelievable.
And then
Junior.
Well, DeRio. I mean, they're going to play Juarez Lincoln and.
Yeah, Lincoln had a good start to the season, and they're a pretty good team, but I'm afraid they can't hang with Del Rio. Who could right now? Sharyland could.
Yeah, I mean that would be a great match to watch. It really would. You know, a semifinal at least.
Now let's stay in that district and look at the boys play. The boys play. If the Jags make it, they'll get United, right?
Yes.
That's a winnable game. So this is the hardest game right now, Palmview. Even though Palmview's coming up behind them, they got to win that game, make the playoffs. And I think they can win the game.
It's looking like it's going to boil down to San Benito and Rivera and that other side, and that would play the winner between either United and Economides. So
really. Yeah. Well, let me tell you something. The Brownsville teams are not as good this year as they have been. I mean, they're still in the playoffs, and they're still good teams.
And it seems like, it looks like all four are going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, they will. They will. McAllen's going to get Porter.
Yeah.
And Porter is on a roll. Now, Lopez, who plays Lopez?
Lopez.
That's PSA North.
Yes.
PSA North can win that game because Lopez is playing poorly. They've lost 4 out of 6. Porter, on the other hand, started out 1-4, but they've really got it together. McAllen needs to be careful. That is a very tough by-district game. And I haven't seen Ware yet. Have you seen Ware?
No, I haven't.
You want that home-and-home flip. You got to play at home because if you play in Brownsville, or anywhere else, Porter's playing well right now.
Yeah, you put also those factors in the road. I mean, Brownsville, everybody knows it's known for its soccer. I mean,
Mackay won district, came from behind to do it, so they should be ready for Porter. But it'll be a tougher game than I think they would have imagined a month ago.
77 men, Brandon Roundhead.
You got 11, man. He's got 12 goals, right? George got 14.
Yeah.
Guillermo, that's a good
It's
team.
a solid team.
They got to win.
Yeah, both McAllen schools are there for the district titles.
Here's what you got to do. If you're McAllen, you got to win a playoff game against Brownsville because you can't say you're that great a soccer team until you do that. This is a good chance for them to do that. This is not the Porter that went all the way to state, but it's still dangerous. I'm excited to see where and when that game is. I'd like to see it.
Yeah, it should be a really good.
What are the other boys matches?
The other boys matches.
PSA North and Lopez. Lopez is playing horribly right now, but they're still Lopez. He'll be close.
Like I said, it's looking like it's going to be Del Rio and Donna.
Well, no, Del Rio's not that great.
Westlaco East and Hannah.
That's the mismatch.
And then North and Lopez, and then United South against Lincoln.
Hannah is Lincoln's going to win.
Yeah.
Hannah is the team you don't want to play. They've only lost once in district, and guess who they lost to? Harleston's house.
Yeah.
Right. So they didn't lose to anybody good. They're the best team in Brownsville.
That bracket, though, if it finishes the way it does, it's looking to have a final on that side. So leading into the semi would be Hannah and Lincoln.
Oh boy, what a game! Yeah, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because those are the two best teams around.
Yeah.
Of course, the Sharyland boys. I've been saying it all year. I watched them. They've got some size, some big kids. Some of them look like a rugby team. They're huge. Man.
Yeah,
7, 11, 17.
But see, what worked out is because the Sharyland boys are on the bottom of that bracket.
Okay.
So there would be looking like LBJ South and Sharyland, and then Mackay and Porter, and then San Benito Rivera and United at Econ, which I've pitted, on my
could be Palmview.
On my little bracket, on my little bracket buster, whatever. I've pitted there Sherry to make the final and Sherry against Rivera.
Wow, that's a good one. That's a good one. And again, Rivera has played a lot better lately, but I don't see that they're as good as they have been. I mean, they're still good. That's a great game. Those are 2 good games.
I really like this part, because you get the brackets and you're already bracketed out for the NCAA, so you're just like, let's see more of the bracket. Let's see another bracket.
Gulf Coast or Laredo United South. I mean, who knows what's going to happen. I'll tell you this though. I feel like the girls, McAllen and Memorial and Rowe, they have a pretty good shot. Yeah. Now, Memorial's going to get the loser of South and Los Fresnos on Tuesday, which means that, South and Los Fresnos are the 2 best teams in that district. Memorial, as the finished 3rd, the girls, they're going to have a tough time.
Yeah.
They're really going to have a tough time because either Los Fresnos or South, those are great teams. Now, we'll see how great Memorial is. I think they got a chance.
They've been scoring.
And Rowe, the 2nd place team, and McAllen the 1st, right?
Yep.
Boy, Mackay's tough. They're a tough team.
58-14, Memorial scores goals.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. They actually do score more, I think.
Score goals,
Here's the thing about McAllen. They don't give up a lot of points, but we're going to see whether they have that old tradition and spirit. I think they do.
They really do. I've seen them play. I mean,
I've always been impressed.
They hustle the ball, and I mean, their coach really knows what he's doing.
I love that guy, man. He's the best. Yeah, he's fun. He calls everybody Hunt.
Yeah. And so, I mean, McAllen soccer, that's where it's kind of at right now.
Yeah.
31.
Yeah. Let's see how we do this year. I really think that this neck of the woods can get some wins against Brownsville because that is the gold standard. To repeat, you can win your district, and that's good. When you beat a Porter, when you beat a Hannah, when you beat Rivera, then you can say it. So maybe this is the year that the balance evens out. We've been saying all year that we thought our district or the district was as strong top to bottom as any.
Yeah.
Now the playoffs come. It's a different angle.
And I'm really curious to see how far Sharyland goes because everybody they had their slow start and now they're just rolling.
They could easily win more games in the playoffs than any team because you're talking about the defending state champions. I feel like they're going to do pretty well. Maybe 3 wins. We'll see. It's going to be exciting though.
Yeah. So let's move into baseball now. And last weekend I went to a game and Sharyland and Edinburgh North. We'll stay with Sharyland.
What did we say last week? They just can't get blown out?
And that's
got blown out.
Exactly what happened. I really... You said it was about going in there and facing the name. And the name is what they faced. And the name is just what beat them.
Yeah.
Because...
A lot of bad plays early.
Granted, Sharyland played a flawless game. And that's
they will
and that's what happens, Edinburgh North 3 errors
in the first inning, right?
And
you can't have that. You just can't. That's like in the NCAA tournament when you come out and get down 18-3. You're not gonna win.
You can't. The lineup can't. Your whole roster can't go through in the first inning.
Batting around is not a good sign. You will not win that game. Now, of course, North came back and got La Jolla 6-4. That was a good lick. That was
it really was because that made them. Okay, we got that loss, but we can still play. That really didn't affect us. It affected them, and it mentally and everything like that day.
You hate to lose.
Yeah.
11-2 or something. I'll tell you this. La Jolla was a bigger game than Sharyland. I'm not trying to downplay. I'm not trying to be a homer.
Sure.
If you'd have lost La Jolla 2, then you'll start to think, maybe we're not that good. They believe that they're good. I'll tell you who's hitting the ball is Vince Ortiz.
Yeah.
He's driving in a lot of runs. The paper had Freddie Contreras. Sorry, Fernie. It's all right. You're Fernie. We know you're Fernie. Got a couple of hits. Got the win. He's a horse, man. North is going to be heard from. They're going to continue to be in that race. Now they just have to play better next time against Sharyland.
Yeah. Who else did you see this week?
Well, I was mainly soccer. Yeah. And, of course, I went to the track meet. I went to the track meet, the Meet of Champs, huge crowd. It was so hot early in the day that people were just melting under umbrellas, and by the evening it was cool. Nice. That's how it works in the spring in the valley. No, it was a good meet.
Great. Okay, so softball, that was the game I went to, basically. It's still kind of slow in the softball area.
Until Thursday.
Yeah, until Thursday. I mean, in the baseball.
So okay, baseball, right?
Yeah, it's still starting slow. And Thursday, I know you have a big game you want to talk about. Let's preview it, and there's just no other way to
Faith
get around
Escobar, whom I call the sublime Faith Escobar. 623. That's not a made-up batting average. She's hitting 623. She has 7 home runs and 43 RBIs. The team is hitting over 400. I think they're hitting 460. I mean, it's ridiculous, man. That team scores 12, 13 runs a game. They haven't made a bunch of errors at all. I think they've made like 1 error per game, or 22 errors. But Edinburgh High is a flawless fielding team. They hit pretty well. They got 2 good pitchers, and it's going to be amazing again.
Nice.
Again.
Nice. Yeah, why wouldn't you expect anything less from those 2 things?
The last time Z broke the fence and won the game in the bottom of the 7th. This time they're playing at North. I feel like North will hold serve in the race and get back that advantage that EHS took from them the first half of the season. Keep an eye on Vela. 6-3. Shayla Abbott is amazing. Had 11 strikeouts the other day. They're right there in the tall grass. They beat La Jolla. I believe it was La Jolla. So now they're in the playoff hunt. They're in a playoff spot right now if the season ended right now. And that's a heck of a deal, 6-3. Belinda Trevino and those kids have done a wonderful job. Can they knock off one of the big 3 in the second round? They just got through beating Sharyland.
There you go.
Amazing.
Belinda Trevino, she went to Edinburgh North.
Yeah, 99. I've been a very good player, right? Yeah. Corner, first base, and third base, right? They can hit the ball.
Yeah, she went to Edinburgh North. And they have the tennis coach out there, Monica Gonzalez. She went to Edinburgh North as well. They're all alums, and they played with their coaching.
Faith Escobar is great. Sammy Cordone is great. But all up and down the lineup, Melina Sanchez is hitting 523 or some such. I mean, their 8th and 9th kids are producing like crazy. You just can't get through that lineup more than once without them putting bombs on you, period. 12 home runs, the team. Faith got 7. They even steal bases. They got more steals than EHS. EHS, though, believe me, any team with Miranda and Sammy on that squad, and Cassie Garcia, the catcher, they're gonna be heard from. They're not gonna go quietly if they lose on the road.
Got you. And it's always been that way.
Always been that way. Look, well, always is a relative term. The last 5 years it has.
Exactly.
Let me remind everybody that North for a while dominated the city in softball. I mean, you look at that outfield wall in left field. You see banners from the '90s, Jack. I mean, they've been almost every year. Sure. EHS was only fair for a long, long time. In fact, they had never made the playoffs like once. All of a sudden, bing, 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 and they feel that tradition and spirit and power right now. It's just going to be an amazing game. Something unbelievable will happen, and unless I get hit by a car, I'll be there. Maybe even if I get hit by a car, I'll roll out in a wheelchair out there with my arm up like this trying to take pictures. I love that game. It's the grudge match, part 2.
It'll work out. So you want to talk a little about the track? You were out at the meet. Did you see anything?
Yeah, the Palmview relay teams are good. Palmview was quick, fast. Everybody was talking about how fast Palmview was. The Sharyland girls did a pretty good job, but the boys are the ones that are killing. This guy Gonzalez, the long distance runner, he don't even get tired. 3,200, he doesn't even get tired. Man, that guy's amazing. Richard Cervantes, the offensive lineman, did well in the shot and the discus. I think he's going to be one of the. I think he's back next year in football, and if he is, he's going to be one of the best linemen.
Chris Gatlin had a good.
Yeah, he did. He finished in the top 6.
Yeah.
Triple jump, I believe.
Triple jump.
You know, the thing is, The track right now is Sharyland, Palmview. On the girls' side, Edinburgh North relay teams are tough. Corey Lipscomb is tough. North doesn't have a lot of kids like they've had in the past. Economides, Leah Brown obviously set another record, did well in the shot put, and also I think in the high jump she went 5'4" maybe. But bottom line is Maddie Kaufman too had a nice meet. I'm not sure there was many competitors at this meet of champs than there have been in the past. I don't know, but it was still a great meet, a huge crowd, and everyone had a good time. I look for us to get some throwers come out of there. I think that Cervantes beat Tony Salinas. He beat this Valencia guy. Yeah. So he had a pretty good situation going there. So Sharyland's great, but there are other teams like Palmview. Don't count out Palmview. They get a lot of points in those relays. Now we got district in 3 weeks. Some people are going up to the Texas Relays in Austin this weekend. I wish them the best safety and performance. And being in that atmosphere and a big time meet makes you better.
Yeah, it really does.
Man.
I mean, you're at the state school and everything's going down.
You see college kids, great bodies, you're like, wow, I want to be like that 2 years from now, So, yeah, I used to like to go to the Texas Relays quite a bit. Spend all day there, man, get all sunburned, just watch everybody run and jump. Fantastic. We had a kid do 15 in the pole vault, Augustus Denham. I want to mention that kid from Sharyland. 15 feet will get you probably through regionals. That's a good jump, man. That's not bad at all.
There you go.
Yeah. So more on track the next couple of weeks. We'll do a district preview.
Got you. Do you have anything else you want to add before we go?
Yes, I want to add that the helmet law in the NFL is the most absurd thing I've ever heard. That's all.
Okay. It really is. That was a really big deal at those meetings this past week.
Walter Payton never would have played.
Never.
I mean, come on, stupid. It won't last.
Before we sign off, baseball. I'll go back to baseball, but UTPA, the old Bryan Ramirez from PSJ.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I was wanting to. Yeah, man, he's doing it.
Yeah,
Bryan's doing it.
Freshman second baseman. He's hitting .333 right now.
He's had some big hits too.
Yeah.
He comes around and scores. I always knew he was a good baseball player. Let me tell you something about Bryan too. He was a good quarterback. If he had played that last year, things would have been different for the Bears. I really promise. But I'm glad. I'm excited for him.
So that was the second Bronx to get Player of the Week in the Great West.
Bryan Ramirez. Yeah.
Which only makes it more exciting. More Valley kids. Another Valley kid going into a major conference.
I know, and there's going to be a lot of games coming up. Some during the day, some at night. Check the schedule, but get out there and support the Bronx because they're starting to come around. What else?
It's finally his class of recruits.
Yeah. Who's going to win the NCAA tournament?
Hopefully Louisville. That's all I got.
Indiana's going to win it right here. You heard me. The Big Ten is going to win it.
Hopefully Louisville. I'm going to go with Louisville.
Louisville's very good.
Yeah.
Very athletic. Who's that one guy, that senior, is like 29 years old? He's a Latino, right? Remember? What's his name? Silva.
Oh, yeah.
Peyton Silva. Well, who knows? I'd pick Indiana. I don't know. I'm old school, traditional. Plus, my mother's up there in the snow rooting for the Hoosiers, so I guess I have to go for her.
There you go.
All right. Well, what else? I think that we are set for the soccer playoffs. It's going to happen bang, 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 quick. A lot of teams are playing on Thursday because of Good Friday, so I wouldn't say check the schedules. I'd say call the schools and find out. Call the coaches and ask them, when are you playing? Because there's nothing worse than thinking it was then. You go there, that's a horrible thing.
We'll have the schedule up online.
Good. Okay.
We'll get something going.
That's right. We're the media. I forgot. Okay. Well, check with us. Very good. Thank Greg Selber, Pete Pettis, talking sports. Have a great week. Last week was super hot. This week is super cold. I can't figure out. Mondays are weird.
It's just another Monday.
Indeed. And we'll see you next one. Bye.